Welcome to Imperfect Momming. Our children are constantly looking to us for examples. The term role model doesn't quite cut it here. We are shaping their worldview with every move we make. You see, it's not in the lectures we give or moments where we are actively attempting to teach them. It's in the micro movements we make, the unconscious ways in which we navigate life. We are constantly teaching our children how to show up for themselves, their friends, their future partners, and even their future children. So what can we do to ensure we are raising thoughtful, compassionate, self-aware human beings? We have to become them ourselves. No one is perfect, but we can still all be better, and it starts with self-healing. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the Imperfect Momming podcast and our pre-lesson before the mom and / or parent support hour and or call. And welcome back. Thanks for being here with us.
Hi, everybody. So nice to be here with you again today. And last week, we unpacked the difference between performance versus person versus performance, and what that really, what that really means when we're parenting our child as a person versus parenting our child's performance as to how they're, performing or showing up in the world. And one of the things that we sort of delved into a little bit was the story that Alicia had told about how she didn't want to be alone with her thoughts, or how she was afraid to be alone with her thoughts. And we really kind of looked at that in terms of why that was important, right?
Right. And, it stemmed back from, from being a child and really just not feeling safe when I was alone and going to bed, which I only know is age appropriate because of some sleep experts that I've talked to. And, and at 3 years old, I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. And so what I was asking for was for my mom to vacuum the spiders out of my room. And I was telling her that I was scared. And she did, and she complied. She very graciously working as much as she was working and going to school and being a single mom of 3 kids. And she did, what I was asking her to do. And what I recognized from, when my son was 3 years old and I was in a deep depression, and he found a way to get me to do what he needed me to, what he wanted me to do. And he wanted me to get out of bed. And he knew that if he asked me to make pancakes, that I would get out of bed. And it took about 3 times of him not eating the pancakes that I realized he just wanted me out of bed. He didn't want the pancakes. So little side tangent that's not related to staying in the present, but I think it's something that Melanie has taught me is chasing the why. Why is my child asking me to do this thing, or why is my child feeling the way that they're feeling? And that relates to staying in the present.
So Alicia, it's interesting that you think that you just said that it's a side thing. I don't know if you saw my face if you were watching. I was like, what do you mean it's a side tangent? No, that's exactly on point, because it really, like we're saying that it's not wanting to be alone with our thoughts, but really what it also is that we don't want to feel our emotions. And even when you were little, you didn't even know what those emotions, you didn't know what that emotion necessarily was or how to articulate it, but the emotion that you were experiencing from what you describe is fear. Right? You were scared, but you didn't know how to tell your mom, I'm scared, I want you to stay with me. So your mom could really address the fear. She addressed the spiders, and she went and cleaned the spiders, and you continue to be scared of spiders until a few weeks ago, when something happened that shifted your thinking and realization that, well, wait a minute, I'm not really I'm not really scared of spiders. That was actually a story that you had told yourself. And what got you to recognize that about yourself, and then that realization that you had about Xander and the pancakes and what had happened and how that actually transferred to how he did what he did without saying, Mom, I need you, I need your attention, I need you to be with me, was he transferred it to being about pancakes. And that's what the whole lesson is really around SIP, right? And so it's really a meditation that I do. And if we can do it now, my invitation is that we put our hand, if you can see what I'm doing here, you put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And as you breathe in, my invitation is that you close your eyes or lower your eyes if you're not comfortable closing them. And you take in a breath into your belly, into your chest, into your upper chest, and you hold. And then you sip in a little more breath. And then you hold that at the top. And then you let that go. Let's do it one more time. So breathe into your belly. Breathe into your chest. Breathe into your upper chest. Sip in a little more breath. Hold. And let that go. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and come back into the space here with us. And in that, 1 to 2 minute time period, it really can just be a very grounding exercise that actually can be uncomfortable for some people. And once you just start practicing and doing it, it brings us back into the present. I know for me, when I started to learn about meditation, I was like, well, what, I can't meditate. I can't stop thinking. I can't stop my thoughts. And that's really not what the goal is what I've realized over time. The goal is really to get present with hearing and listening and seeing the signs that are coming in from the universe to take away a lot of the noise that's distracting us so that we can get in touch with what's actually coming into us and the messages that are being delivered to us from all around us. And so the SIP for me is that SIP is stay in the present. And all we need to do that is to take a breath, which is something that we've taught in the pause, which is something that we've taught in our 5-finger framework. And these are just very, very basic tools, obviously, that we're giving. These are very surface tools. I love that we have the beach behind you, Elish, because our coach talks about, the snorkeling of coaching versus the deep diving. And this is the tools that we're giving are literally just like snorkeling tools. They're top of the surface tools. And really what we do inside of our programs and inside of our lessons and inside of our teachings is to then help us go down deep to unpack what are the actual feelings underneath it. What are the behaviors? Why is our child behaving that way? Why are we reacting that way? And what can we do differently to help our children by first helping ourselves? So it's a very simple tool to help us to get to that point.
And I can just say from, I don't know that I've done that with you. I know that we've talked about the hand on your chest and hand on your stomach and the like neurological shift that actually creates. And I could feel that as we were doing it together. And it was like, I was feeling maybe a little anxious because of time and not doing things the way that we normally do, which is go live on Facebook because we're having some technical issues. I was feeling a little like just disruption. And now I just feel, completely in this moment and present with you, and my energy has shifted. And if, I can just imagine if I'm in the midst of anxiousness with my son, that I could do that and get in and really just connect with this moment and not all the other things that are on my mind, that are in my body, that are on my heart. Like, I can just be in this moment, and like, I can really feel the benefit of it. So
I love that. And the last thing that, that this is my theory around why this works. My theory is, when the light comes in and we tap in, like it really is, it helps us to create that channel. When we take that breath with a hand on our heart and a hand on our bellies like that, it's that heart, head, the heart, soul, and third eye, head connection. So it's really that line that allows us, and it's, that's going a little bit more into like the explanation of what I believe is behind it, but it's just that very simple tool. And I love that you have that that you just had that experience of it without even having the explanation behind it.
Yeah. And I've, one of my clients was talking to me about, when I get home from work, my son is very anxious, and he's just high emotion, and he's 1 to 2 year olds boy, and I said to her, like, what energy are you coming into the house with? Like, you've been at work all day, you're connecting with people all day, and then you're driving home, and then when you walk into the house, what is present for you? And she's like, I mean, the day is like heavy and all that. And my advice to her was, like, sit in the car for 5 minutes or on your commute home to focus on decompressing and releasing the day before you go into the house. And when she started doing that, her son's behavior started to change, because they're connected to us, and especially at that age. But our children are always connected to us. So
yeah, and I know that we're going to wrap up, because we want to open our Zoom room for everybody now, so that we can actually go live with you guys in Zoom room. But just, Elise, what you just said is so, so, so important. I truly believe that we set the tone, and it's not just for our children, it's for the entire household. Yeah. Whether it's if we have a partner or a spouse or our children, or if our parents live with us, we can set the tone, and we can shift it just by the small shifts that we do. And it starts with us. And on that note, I would love to, just invite everybody into our Zoom room to come in and let us know if what's happening with you, how we can support you. And
yeah, we do this every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for typically inside our Facebook group. The Zoom room is private. The lesson is usually live, and it's open to all people who are wanting to and are touching the lives of children, and wanting to raise enlightened children. So Tuesdays at 9 a.m. The Zoom room link will be posted, and we will see you shortly.
And Alicia, I just want to say, if this, I think you also post this on YouTube. So for anybody that does want to join us, you just join our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is a Raising Enlightened Children Facebook group. And then that's where we go live on Tuesday mornings.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
So 9 a.m. Pacific, because I think it cut out on my end what you said. And we will be back, or we'll have another podcast episode released on Thursday, and we'll be back next week. So until we meet again, keep healing. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Momming. It's time for us to step up and realize that our power is not in trying to shape our children. Our power lies in shaping ourselves into the people we want our children to model themselves after. Don't just do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. When you become a more self-aware, compassionate, and confident person, you and everyone around you benefit. For more information about me and my work, visit alicialyons.com. That's ALYSIALYONS.com. See you next time.